Can you hear me? Loud and clearly. Hello, Mitch. How's it going? Can you give me the thumbs up? Whilst I sugar me coffee, as it were. Thumbs up. Thank you, Papa Doug. How you doing, my friend? How are we? Where are you? Where's Papa Doug at the moment? Are you in the Philippines? And where are you, Mitch? Sunday morning. Oh, you're in Spokane. Am I pronouncing that right? Spokane? What time is it? It must, what is it? 8 p.m. now? How's it going? Where do your adventures take you? You didn't have to do that, Mitch. It's very kind of you. Thank you very much. 6 p.m. Okay, so you're a little bit earlier. I'm ahead of you. Not mentally, but physically. So it's 9 a.m. in Cebu City. Another hot day. Got me cappuccino. And where are you, Mitch? Where are you now? Okay, you're okay. Where are you moving to? Are you moving to a city or a province? And you have a partner here, or wife, or girlfriend, or whatever? Which spot are you moving to? It's my first coffee of the day. 9 o'clock in the morning. Do you like Avida Towers? No. It's not really. No, I know it's very close to where I am. I'm in IT Park at the moment. It's very close to where I am. It's not a place. Okay, so I love a rooftop pool, as a lot of you might know. So I don't think they offer that there. So I'm not very. I don't think they have balconies. I don't think Avida Towers have balconies. I might be wrong, but those are my two top priorities now: a balcony and a rooftop pool. So no. Have you been there? Have you stayed there? Is that why you're asking me? Probably Valencia. Okay. Probably Valencia. Okay, so you're outside Dumaguete, Dumaregretti. So your girlfriend is in Saudi Arabia. I've been to Saudi. Have you been? Where is she? Is she in Riyadh? I've been to Riyadh, which is an amazing place. Okay, so you're in Florida. It's 9 a.m. 9 p.m. there. I thought you were 13 hours behind. So you're retiring 2026. Brilliant. Yes, I do remember, Mitch. I am back there now. I've been back there 6 weeks. I can't get away from the place. I just love their rooftop pool. So I've just signed another contract for another month. So yeah, I don't know when I'll be leaving. Probably 2 months. Hello, Frankly Brian. Nice to see you here. The Thinking Man's Phil's vlogger. Thank you for appreciating my head fuck. When I went to Phil, the only place I found that did decent, real strong coffees, flat whites, was the chain Pickup. Okay, so Pickup Coffee, they are even more popular now than they were a couple of years ago. So back in Manila, where I returned to at the end of last year, there's a now Pickup Coffee there. They're everywhere now. Pickup Coffee is, and they're cheap. They're cheap as well. Although they take a long time to process their orders. I remember my friend Victor was in Manila with me, and he'd go down every morning and he'd order online on the app, and then it'd go down, and he'd still wait down there for like 20-30 minutes until they processed his order. So yeah, they might be great, but a little bit slow. They might be all right for you. Oh, you're here now looking for a laundry services. Okay. You're in IT Park. There's probably not many, probably outside. I think outside in the Filipino areas, there's a lot more laundry. I mean, where I am down in Mabola, there's probably about 4 or 5 laundries. But I think in IT Park, I don't think there's that many. From the pool, yeah, I'm back there. I'm back, yeah, exactly. I love that pool. Okay, oh, so she's in Riyadh. Brilliant, brilliant. I actually, I was a photographer in my previous life, and I was actually employed by the Saudi royal family, believe it or not, to fly to Riyadh. They flew me to Riyadh, and a video maker. They flew us to Riyadh to attend their daughter's engagement ceremony. They couldn't. Saudi guys are not allowed to see women in their natural clothing, apparently. So they employed us. All these women were beautiful women, and they were turned up at the villa in their burqas, and then they stripped off to their normal clothes, party clothes, and they all had this amazingly beautiful dresses on. So I was employed to go to Riyadh to shoot their engagement ceremony for about 4 days. And it was very, very hot. It was like 45 degrees, and it was a nightmare. But anyway, it was brilliant. I don't think many people will know that Levi ad in the laundries. That you're going back now. You're going back to the 1980s. Yeah, I don't do that. I think I'd clear the laundry if I did that. As someone said on my vlog the other day, you look like a scarecrow. So yeah, I think I'll scare everybody off. Grocery store. What do you mean grocery store? I get all my shopping at Metro. I go to Metro, which is in IT Park, and it's also in Business Park. I go to Metro a couple of times a week to get my groceries. Why are you using the Grab app to get your groceries? Just go to the store. It's a lot easier. Yeah, Riyadh was great. Riyadh is great. Old school, yeah, it's old school ad. And I don't know why it keeps coming back to me, but Brutus. Something funny you should mention that, because the Brutus jeans ad keeps coming back to me. I get my Brutus jeans on, I put my Brutus jeans on, which was to a song at that time. So it's funny you should mention that. I didn't know Nick came and passed away quite young. I didn't realise that. He had a great tune as well. He had one great tune. It's funny how these actors became singers, or they put out a song. He had one brilliant song. I can't remember it. So if you can remember the Nick Cayman song. Oh, she's a laser hair removal technician. Oh God, blimey. I can imagine, because yeah, I don't want to say too much. I imagine they're pretty hirsute, yes. You always ask me about Swing Out Sister. Breakout is such a great tune. I love Breakout. Your mate called you a spanner. Yeah. Yeah, I'm meeting up with Barney tomorrow. Barney is from London. I'm going to interview Barney, and not many of you are going to understand our interview, because when Barney and I speak, it's all total nonsense to people who are not familiar with London speak. So I'm not going to edit it. Yeah, a spanner, brilliant. Each time you break my heart, that was it. Brilliant song, brilliant song. Hello, Andre. How are we? Where are you at the moment? I need to make sure I keep hydrated, because Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Google. I didn't think you'd remember the name of the song because I certainly didn't. He died. I didn't know that. I didn't know he can't have been what? He must have been what? 55, something like that. Yeah, brilliant, brilliant song. Yeah, there's some great. Nick Hayward was also one of my favourites. Haircut 100. Can anyone remember Haircut 100? Nick Hayward was one of my, yeah. I loved Haircut 100, and I loved Nick Hayward's solo stuff as well. I went to see him a couple of times. He was brilliant. He really beefed up because if you remember Haircut 100, he was a really puny guy like me, and then he really beefed up. I went to see him live in the 90s in a small club in London, and he'd gone to the gym probably for the last 10 years, and he was a beast. He was now a beast. For those of you who remember Nick Hayward from Haircut 100. Okay, so back to Cebu. I have been here 6 weeks, and I'm not too sure. I'm staying for another month in the same condo. I love condo life now. I'm loving condo life. Every time I go away and go and stay in hotels, I always wish I was staying in a condo. So I do love condo life. So at least another month, and probably throughout June as well. I'm probably throughout June. Yeah, Love Plus One. What a brilliant song. Home Beyond the Door. Is that, when did you send me that? Is that a new one? The two you originally sent me, is this a new one from the two you sent me? I don't think I've found it. Thank you, George. Thank you. Yeah. And I got another brilliant shirt recently as well. You might not realise this, but I am very fussy. So it takes me a while to find a brilliant shirt, and I do think I found 4 brilliant shirts, amazingly, in the Philippines. Sorry, I missed a question somewhere. I hope you find your Filipino. Filipina, you mean, not Filipino. I'm not. Yeah, I'm into girls and not boys. That's not going to happen. I'm not going to find her. I know that by now. I know already I'm not going to find her. Are you going to spend some time in Vietnam? Yeah, I first went to Vietnam probably about 2003-4 and did the whole lot. Where are you going to go? Because the weather is different throughout Vietnam, different times of year. So February before last, not last February. Sorry, it was March. March before last, almost 2 years ago, over 2 years ago. I went to Vietnam, and I came from the Philippines. And when I went to Vietnam, I went to Saigon, and it didn't rain for the whole month. I went to Saigon. I flew to Saigon, then I took a flight to Phu Hoa. There's a little island at the bottom near Cambodia, which is okay. And then I went up the coast, and I flew to Da Nang and went to Nha Trang and Hoi An, which are brilliant on the east coast, which are lovely places on the east coast. Previously, I've been right up north. I've probably been about 4 times to Vietnam. Previously, I've been right up north twice to Sapa in the far north, which is freezing cold, but full of hill tribes, and it was a brilliant place. And also Hanoi, which is a lovely city, and I've done a few places in between. And Halong Bay. So I've done quite a lot of Vietnam. I've covered quite a lot. Vietnam is brilliant. I love it there. Is that your first time in Vietnam, Papa Dog? Hello, Joseph from Orlando. You saw? Did you? Okay, I remember. How are you? I remember meeting you in Bohol. Yes. At that strange immigration office. Oh, he's 59. Okay. Howard Jones. Okay, Howard Jones. I've got what is that? Oh God, I wish I could remember the name. He had that really strange first single where he had that dancing guy with him, didn't he? What was that called? And then I've got one 12-inch of his, which is absolutely amazing. I can't remember the name. I saw him. Sorry, I did. I saw him in London, and the whole stage was completely packed with his keyboards. He's an absolutely brilliant musician, and he'd stand by his keyboards and he'd dance around. Well, you can't do much as a when you're playing keyboards. You can't really do much, can you? But he would just go like that, sort of dance around like that. Yeah, he was brilliant. He was brilliant. Howard Jones. Oh, it's a new one. Sorry, Kevin, I haven't seen it yet. Okay, Da Nang and Nha Trang are on the list. Brilliant. And when you go to Da Nang, you'll obviously go to Hoi An, which is a lovely little place. By the river. Very, very commercialized, Hoi An, but it's brilliant place. Very, very colourful little city. Yeah, I do, frankly, Brian. My aesthetics are my standards may be too high. I know that, and I'm too old and long in the tooth to settle down. Yeah. You're in Mactan now, Alex. Where are you in Mactan? You're in Mactan, Newtown, which is not on my favourite places list. Why are you there? If you're there for brilliant shirts, why are you wearing old tat? What are you The thing is, when you've worn those 4 shirts, then you need to go to the laundry immediately, don't you? It's like your wardrobe is gone. You end up going to the laundry more often than not. You have the Filipina P for a neighbour. She can't. Is she there permanently now? Hello, Marley. Is it Marley from the USA? And hello, Steve. Nice to see you here. Have you done a morning gym and morning swim in Mandaluyong? It's nice that you steam in with a negative comment. Typical Englishman. Don't even say hello, but just steam in with a negative comment. The way it is. The way it is? No, what was it? What was it? That's not the one. Okay, so Robert, yeah, I put it up last night. About 9 p.m. last night. About 9 p.m. last night, I put it up. So what? That was 12 hours. So I don't know why you didn't get advance notice. If you're a subscriber and have clicked all the notifications or whatever, then I don't know. Come back to Pang Lao. Okay, so I was watching Regular Guy's video yesterday on Alona. Yeah, I do love that. I do love this. And he went to a couple of places that I do like. What is the name of that? I can't remember the name of the place now. The second place he went to, which is where I used to spend a lot of time having a breakfast and having a beer in the afternoon. Yeah, there is some good spots on Alona. What I've always said I wanted to do is take a bike. I don't ride a bike, or get a trike around the whole island and go to each of the beaches. Okay, Craig's List. Frankly, Brian asked about that was in Hong Kong. I don't know whether they don't really do that here. Craig's List or FWB. Well, they probably do. Oh, you're just outside Newtown. Okay, I've actually vlogged. Is that the area between Newtown and the what's that? The square. What's it called? The place where there's the bloke with the sword. Whatever. I can't remember the name of the area. I've walked through the squatter area. It's lovely. I've spoken to people there. It's lovely. Like to get you to know you well. That was it. That was a great song. Like to get to know you well. That was a brilliant song. Um, you're a Brit. Okay, you're in Japan. Where are you in Japan? Hello, are you happy now? Yes, gym at, that's taking the mickey. The gym at 4:30 is a little bit extreme. Why 4:30? Okay, so I had I had swim at 6:30. I haven't done the gym today yet. I might not even do it. 4:30. That's putting me to shame. Thanks for that. Kazakhstan. Okay. No, I haven't. I haven't been to Kazakhstan. It's never been on my list. I've been to northern China, but I've never gone any further north. Hello, Fady Traveller. I do. Stephens 05. I do. That is on my list. Need to ride. Well, ride on a bus. Yeah. That is my next plan to do later. To go to Ormoc and then down to Bay, and then across the Samar. That is probably. I know it's entering typhoon. Well, it's not really entering typhoon season. Typhoon season is normally December. So yeah, normally Lapu Lapu statue. That's the one. I'm glad you. Yeah, that's the one. There's that square, isn't there, with a Lapu Lapu statue, which gets quite busy at night time with Zumba. It's quite a nice square. Yeah. So I've been to that square and I've walked through the squatter area. Yeah, shut your north and south. I'm meeting up with a Cockney lad tomorrow, so that should be hilarious. Fukuoka, wasn't that where they had the earthquake? No. Panglao and Bohol proper seem like paradise. Why Cebu? Okay, that's a good question. I love Bohol. I love Bohol. When I first went to Bohol, 3 years ago? Like, what was it? November, almost 3 years ago. And I spent a month there. I did a lot of Panglao, and I did a couple of weeks in Tagbilaran, and visited Andrew at the other end of Bohol. I do love Bohol. But then this time when I went back last September for a couple of weeks, I didn't really like it as much. It wasn't. It's funny how when you stay in a place and then you return there, hoping, expecting it to be like it was the first time, it didn't have the same appeal the second time around. So. Yeah, I do love Bohol, but I didn't really feel that I wanted to stay there any longer. Cebu, I love Cebu because I love the place where I'm staying. I'm not particularly in love with the city. I mean, yesterday afternoon I came down here. I walked from my condo down to IT Park. I just had a coffee here yesterday afternoon. It doesn't feel like there's lots of places to go to for me to chill and relax. So, and I was thinking this actually yesterday, where in Bohol, if I was in Bohol and I was in Panglao, I'd be sitting on the seafront, looking out over the seafront. So, yeah, I don't know the answer. It is proper paradise, but I'd get tired of staying too long in a beach environment. As I always say, I'm a city boy who loves the beach, but if I stay too long in a beach environment, I get bored, I get stir crazy. So I couldn't stay on Bohol for that long. I do prefer to live in a city. So that's a long-winded way of saying why I like. And also on Cebu, you also have a lot of access to a lot of great beaches as well, like Walpole and Bantayan and Malapascua. So you do have a lot of variety on Cebu Island as well. You just finished your squats. You need to lie down and a coffee. Well done. I haven't done the squats today. Have a great day. Cheers, Mitch. Enjoy the special moments in Mobile. Take care. Thanks for your contribution. Cheers, Mitch. Thank you. Okay, weather manager thinking of trying to put well, it starts getting wet around. Well, it's also it's normally June, but it's actually started getting wet. We've had a few heavy days of rain. So June, it should start getting wet, but it's already started getting wet in May. Yeah. So, and it depends where you go. And it's never always solid rain in the Philippines, apart from when you're in Manila, where it feels like it rains all the time. Have you always kept a jar? No, I started keeping a journal about 1998. I was doing it when I was a kid, but not for very long. I wish I'd kept it up when I was a kid. So I started again in 1998, and I've kept it religiously since then. So what, the last 28 years I've kept a journal. So my journals are quite a lot. It does help me create my videos, because I write religiously, so I do write my thoughts, and so that does feed into my vlogs as well. So it does help. Me put my thoughts down on paper before I put them into a video. So it does help. And I advise a lot. If I had kids, I would say to them, keep a journal. It's like a great thing to do. It's a good way of. There's also this thing of writing down your thoughts and then getting rid of it. It's like casting your thoughts away, releasing what's in your brain and casting them away. So there is that idea of writing things down on paper and then burning it or destroying it. But I don't do that. I keep my journals. Thank you, Toasty. Cebu City is quite dirty, but Bohol, chocolate mountains, nothing more. They're very picturesque. I do like Bohol. Cebu City is quite dirty, but if you get outside Cebu City into the nature, then it's lovely. Okay, so best islands to visit in your opinion: Panglao, Bantayan, and Sikkim. You're right. I would add Boracay to that. I do love Boracay. Bantayan, I think, is lovely. Sikkim is lovely. I do feel Sikkim is a little bit lacking. I know islands are islands, but for me, there's no real centre. I am very picky. I like an island with a centre. I like a village. There is a little. Is it San Juan? There is a little village in Sikkim, but not much. And you do need transport. I know it's a very small island, but you do need transport to get around the island. I know. Yeah. And then I saw what Alexa said about having a scooter. I know. Yes. You're right. English, please. I know. I need a university city next to a beach. Exactly. I don't think I'm not going to find it here. It's not here, is it? It's not in the Philippines. Yeah. Well, I'm not going to do what you. I'm not going to remove something that I don't want to remove. It's it's a bit silly you asking me to do that. That's why I ignored you because I'm not going to do it. Hi Tim, you always leave regular guy negative comments. Does he read them? Okay, here we go. Who's my favourite Spice Girl? I think it's probably Mel B. She's a bit gobby. It's definitely not Sporty, and it's definitely not Emma. It's funny how I know all their names. I do like Posh, but then I think it's probably Mel B because she's a bit naughty. President of FIFA. That's probably not a compliment. Sporty? No, I don't. No, not sporty. No, because she's very flat-chested. You should know that, Tim. And she's got a dodgy. She's got a gold tooth or something. Exactly, Alex. Thank you for telling Robert Thingamajig about exactly. I'm not doing something that I don't want to remove. You were in Bohol last week. Bird watchers. Okay, where? I've never heard of that one. Okay. Is that near the place where they play live music? There's a place on live music. I can't remember. Is it Spice or something? I can't remember the name of it. I was Googling it yesterday. I couldn't find it on the beach. It's a lovely place to people watch, and they also have live bands where I've got up on stage and sung some songs. So Monty Python is fine when you watch it once or twice, but when you listen to it over and over again, lights come on. Lights coming on. Hello, Aisha. I like that name. Hello from Canada, Jason. How are we? Where in Canada are you? Hello, Aisha from Morocco. English and ticklish. Yeah, you said your name was Aisha. How many times you need to tell me? I do listen occasionally. Yeah, okay, Brian. I know that's gonna. Don't tell me about last night's scores because I haven't watched Match of the Day yet, and I'm a stickler for not watching Match of the Day with knowing the score. So don't tell me. And yeah, you're going to tell me all the scores. Yeah, I know it's going to be. This is the decider, isn't it? This is going to be a massive game. You don't need to remove it. You need to amend it. What? Don't take the toilet flushing out, but don't take the toilet flushing out. I do care about the experience of my subscribers and my fans, but I don't want my fans dictating what I should be doing. Thank you. Hello, Durian. How are we in Australia? Zahil, how are you? The dark one. Yeah, Mel B, the dark one. Is that politically correct? What did I miss? Not a lot. I know. Thank you, Alex. Hello, the Buddy Show. How are we? See, are you still there? It was 2 months ago, wasn't it, when you came on and you said you're having to leave Cambodia? Oh, they do have live music, but I didn't think that the name of the place was what you just called. What you just said it was. I didn't think it was that place. Horses, yeah, horses. Yeah, you can't lead horses to water. Yeah, exactly. You're coming to. Hang on, I missed something. The Buddy Show. What's happening? I thought you were moving. I thought you were coming to the Philippines again. What happened? Where am I? You're coming to the Philippines in July. Where are you coming to? Okay, so Stefan's 05. I have actually met him. I met him in Malaybalay last summer. And I did think of that. But I did think of doing it. I thought it would be a great interview, but it didn't feel appropriate at that time. I don't know what it was. We got on great, but it didn't feel. I wanted to interview him, but it didn't feel appropriate at the time. So maybe another day. It would be very funny. I know that, and I knew when I went to meet him that we'd get on well. But I wasn't drinking at that time. Maybe now that I'm drinking again, it would be even more humorous. Oh, you moved to a better apartment. But that wasn't your reason for wanting. I thought you wanted to leave for other reasons. I don't know. You're coming here to shag some birds, then maybe to Penang. Okay, so do you not shag any birds in Cambodia? Okay, so frankly, Brian, What has been my best oh gosh. Best decade. Oh, that is oh gosh. Oh gosh. It's a very, very, very good question. You know, Bowie had a song called 5 Years. I actually wrote down my best 5 years in my life. And one, I think, 84, the 80s. I think the 80s. I love the 80s, and I think probably the 80s is because of my favourite music as well. So I think the 80s was my best period. When I was at university, I think the 80s was probably my best. Yeah, going to university, travelling to India for the first time I was in my 20s, which was the 80s. Yeah, so I think that is my favourite. I think it all went downhill after that. But I did love the 70s as well when I first got into music, and got into punk at school, and so late 70s was also great as well. So I think that period, like late teens and in my 20s. How about you? What was yours? Do you get a cough of the? Okay, so I don't drive a motorbike, but I do get motorbike taxis, and then you're in a motorbike taxi, and all the motorbikes all congregate together when they come up to the traffic lights. And so there's all these fumes. You're right. There's all these fumes coming out the back of all these motorbikes. So yeah, you met Scotty and Carefree Chris recently or years ago? I think Carefree Chris is back in Leyte now. He was in Mindanao, wasn't he, for a while? No. Okay, good question. Did you get the contact from the American girl? No. I've got her WhatsApp, but it was very much a situation where I don't think she wanted to meet me again, if you see what I mean. It was just a holiday thing for her. She was just here for a week. She just wanted to get laid. So yeah, I don't think she'll ever contact me again. She said, when I left that morning, she said, I have your WhatsApp details now anyway. She'd already unmatched with me on Bumble, but I knew that she was never going to contact me again anyway. I just had that feeling. Oh gosh, best beach town to call it a day and settle down in the Philippines. Best beach town. Oh gosh. Good question. Well, my favourite beach is Boracay, but I know that if I go back to Boracay again, I'm probably going to hate it. So I think it's Boracay at the moment. Boracay at the moment, which a lot of you will say, oh, Boracay, that's really touristy, that's really expensive. But you can find better places in Boracay that are not for the tourists. So, okay, you live in Eastbourne. Are you still living in Eastbourne? I used to go to the Eastbourne tennis every year for probably from 2015. I used to go to the Eastbourne tennis, which will be coming up, won't it? It's like in June, isn't it? Have you been to the tennis at Eastbourne? It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. It was so much. Well, it's easy to get tickets. That I think it actually sells out quite quickly, actually. But I used to get online and get my tickets for the tennis at Eastbourne quite early. Do me a favour, go and watch the tennis at Eastbourne. You probably don't like tennis, but I do love Eastbourne, and it's got a great beach there as well. I know. My fans, they do. I follow what my fans say. I do follow what fans. I read all the comments. I read what people advise me to do. But there are some things that people advise me to do which I don't want to do. So you should understand that as well. I do listen to what people say, but I'm not listening to what you say on this. I got kicked off Dating Asia as well. I think we had that conversation before. Very little dating app action. So you're meeting ladies in Cambodia, just meeting them in the flesh, not on the dating apps. It's not about ego. Gosh, oh gosh. Will you be willing to buy a motorbike? Not really. I haven't got my license and I don't really drive. Okay. You met them when you were still in Cebu? No, not really. I don't really want my own motorbike because I'm travelling around and I don't really want the hassle of buying a motorbike and then having it as a possession. Okay, good question. Online dating or feet on the ground? Both. Definitely both. Don't disregard either. Just do both. Thank you, Alex. Oh gosh. You're a bit angst-ridden in my early 20s. Okay, so I wasn't very confident. I wasn't very confident in my... It took me a while to find myself. You were angst-ridden in your early 20s, so mid-20s and mid-30s is your best. Okay. I'm glad you got there in the end. Yeah, I was a bit shy and nerdy in my formative years. Yeah, it took me a lot of time to get away, to stop being shy and insecure. I'm still insecure. I had to fight my shyness for years. Even in my 40s and 50s, I had to fight my shyness. But now I just go for it. So that brings me back to feet on the ground. So sometimes I'm confident and approach girls, and other times I don't feel confident. So it depends on the scenario. But both, I would say both. Why would I hate going back to Boracay? Because I feel that I might not like it. It's not. I don't know. When I went back last time, the second time, it wasn't as great as the first time. But I still want to go there. I still want to go there and spend a month. I think it'd be okay to live there. So Peter, you say yes and airborne soon too. So do you go though? Do you go to the tennis? All right, peace. Thank you, Robert. We're going to agree to disagree on the toilet flushing. I am from Essex, in case you couldn't tell. My given name is Dickie. I come from Billericay and I'm doing very well. Had a love affair with Nina in the back of my Cortina. Does anyone know that song? Anyway, you met a couple from Thai Friendly. A couple or a couple of individuals? Many countries don't even like the UK. Yeah, I'm aware of that. Okay, he's here. Oh, he's here. That's right, he's coming soon, isn't he? No, he's going to America and then he's going there. You only feel strong when you say no to someone. I watched a brilliant video yesterday about respect and how if you don't stand up for yourself, people don't respect you. So yeah, I think that's where you're coming from. Like with women, if a woman can walk all over you, then she doesn't respect you. So you need to stand up for yourself. You're right. You look like my fourth grade teacher. Was it a man or a woman? Um, well, I'm not really a settling type anymore. I'm 64, and I don't feel like I'm the settling type. Um, I'll give you an example. So I'm chatting with different females every week, and then this week one of them said to me that she was sad, she was lonely, and she wanted a boyfriend. Now she's 30, and we'd been talking for a couple of weeks, and then so we started chatting more, and then in the evening she'd say to me, "What are you doing?" And I said to her, "I'm still working on my laptop, but I've just started cooking." Then half an hour later she said, "What are you doing?" Now this is what happens with Filipinas. It's constant. I don't want to say how many times I'm spanking the monkey, but how many times do I need to tell you what I'm doing in the course of a day? So it's like this constant need to check in on you. So this is one of the reasons why I am still single. I don't want that constant request to be told what I'm doing with my life every 30 minutes of the day. It's like that's why I'm quite happy. I just feel trapped. It makes me feel trapped when I'm in a relationship, because of that constant need to tell someone what I'm doing and ask someone for approval all day. Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? I am quite happy being free. So yeah, does that answer your question? Okay, go to Tennessee. Okay, brilliant. Best place and worst place you like? Okay, that's a good question. Best place and worst place. There's a lot of best places. There's a lot of places I love in the Philippines. Yeah, Bohol, Cebu. There's a lot of great islands. Worst place for me, personally, and people will disagree, was Palawan. I found Palawan really dirty. I mean, people say Cebu City is dirty, but I found Palawan, the island, pretty dirty. I mean, go to El Nido and go to Coron, and they were two really dirty towns. Lots of dog shit on the street. It just felt really dirty. I mean, the Palawan, going out on the island tour and seeing all that beautiful scenery is great, but then when you go to Palawan, it's Puerto Princesa. For me, sorry if you live there, but it's a horrible, dirty city. So yeah, so for so for me, Palawan. And I didn't really like Camotes. I didn't really like Camotes. I mean, I saw that Tom and Lay are on Camotes now, and they are loving it. But for me, I didn't really find Camotes to be a great island. But then each one of us is different. Each one of us finds different things to like in different islands. So yeah, what I might find dirty, you might find really clean. Okay, so Bruce Lee had this famous black and white interview on YouTube where he says he no longer believes in fighting styles. He comes into the moment and lets the moment dictate his actions. That is brilliant. I like that. How many tips on make a few quid? I'm going skin. Any tips on how to make a few quid out here? Well, get yourself a YouTube channel. I don't know, where are you from? Where are you? You're not meant to work here. I have read one of his books. I have, yes. I can't remember which book I read, but I have read one of them. We're all just lost kids trying to make our way through this thing called life. So just go for it and laugh things off. As I get older, actually, I'm a bit of a mixed bag, really. As I get older, I try and laugh things off. Did you see that? But also, things do affect me more as well. So I do. Some things I laugh off, but some things affect me more. Okay, so an example. Yesterday afternoon, I came here, I had a coffee here, then I walked to Business Park, walked around Ayala briefly. I don't really like Ayala as much. I like IT Park more, I think, than Ayala. Anyway, I went through Ayala and there's a new little park the other side of Ayala called Central Park, and it's brand new. It's only been there probably 2 weeks. It's a nice little park with a grotto, some lawns, a couple of food stalls. It's a lovely little park. It's a lovely little park. Brand new, 2 weeks old. So there's grass there, lovely grass, and there's also flower gardens. Now, I was sitting on a bench in the sunshine, and there was a family sitting near me on the path. Now, two of their kids had a ball. They just bought this brand new ball, and two of their kids, they were probably about 10 years old, two young girls, probably about 10 years old. They started playing throw the ball at each other on the footpath. Now, the footpath was next to the garden, the new garden with new flowers, and their ball kept going into this garden. The parents just sat there and watched this, treading over the flowers to get to their ball. Now, next to them on the other side of this path was a lawn. So one of the girls had this bright idea to stand on the lawn, but then throw the ball to her sister or whatever on the path, so the ball was still going into the flower garden. So I'd watched this for 15 minutes. I got up and I walked over and I said to the girl on the lawn, why don't you two of you play together on the lawn, facing that way, where the ball can go to each of you on the lawn and not destroy the flowers on the garden? And as I was saying this, the mother was nodding her head in agreement. And I said, well, why didn't you say this to her then? Why do I have to tell you how to control your children? So this is a long-winded way of me saying some things affect me and some things don't. I could have just laughed it off, but I didn't. I saw the brand new garden that had been there for 2 weeks getting destroyed, and I had to say something. What would you have done? Would you have been a grumpy old man like me and said something, or would you have just left? I mean, I think it's something to do with the Filipinos. They've got no, sorry to be generalised, but there's not a lot of common sense here. There's not a lot of common sense. Anyway, let me carry on with your questions. You sure? No, Steve's back. Steve's back. He's had his protein shake. He's feeling beefed up, and now he's come back with a put down. You sure do look like an Essex girl. You just need blonde hair. Yeah. What? And the stubble. The blonde Essex girl stubble. If you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything. Here's Johnny Lawrence. He's finally finished his supper and finally decided to grace us with his presence. I will answer a few more questions and then I'll come back to this. Is your English British? Yes, sort of, if that's what you mean. Okay. Are there enough to simply date about? Then when she gets too needy, move on to another? That's a very good question. I'm finding it a lot harder now. I think it's other people will probably disagree, but I'm finding it a lot harder to simply date about than it was 4 or 5 years ago. I think it's a lot harder now to do casual dating. I think it's a lot more transactional. Other people disagree and say they don't find it hard at all, but I think it's a lot harder to do casual dating here than it was. You mean comedian? Did I not say that? What did I say? Okay, leave the. Yeah. I know. You know what I'm like. I'm very settled in my ways. I get very settled in that condo. I'm gonna go back to Wall. Now I'm gonna have to go back to Wall because I've said it now. Hello, sweet cheeks. It was my birthday in VD. Oh, 65. Happy birthday, 65-year-old Brian. Happy birthday from me. Jesus does love me. I'm still not able to walk on water though. Oh. So what did the mother say after you said it to her? She just nodded her head. They just nodded her head. They didn't really. I didn't really wait for them. I didn't really wait. You would not have waited. Brilliant. I'm glad. I know, but there's this thing here. This thing in the West. I mean, kids in the West are always getting told off, aren't they? And kids in the West are always being told what's right and wrong by their parents anyway. But I feel it's a bit more lax here. I don't feel like I should be playing the role of their parent. So yeah, I don't know. I was torn. I mean, I sat there for 15 minutes. The whole that 15 minutes thinking, when do I go over? When do I go? Because I knew it wasn't going to stop. So, but I was wanting the parents to take control, and of course they never did. Yeah, they don't care. They throw garbage. I mean, that lovely little park that's been there 2 weeks. It's going to be destroyed. It's not going to last long. I mean, there's a guard walking around, but what does he do? He just walks around. I don't know what he's even there for. Yeah, exactly. It's consideration, respect. I think we are taught this a lot more in the West. Consideration for others. Yeah, love thy neighbour and all that. Although if you watch where's Tim gone? I was watching Love Thy Neighbour. Came up on my Facebook the other day. An episode of Love Thy Neighbour, which is so PC. God, it's amazing. It's funny they call it Love Thy Neighbour, which is a sitcom from UK back in the 70s, 80s, and it's very, very, very un-PC. You wouldn't get away with it now. I don't speak any other language. Oh, thank you, Barely Existing, for sharing my channel. Thank you very much for doing that. Your Jack. My fitness routine. Someone said, is it Jane Fonda? Jane Fonda doing, who was the other one? Jane Fonda or, how old? I am 64. Thank you, Steve. Take care. Have a lovely day. You're not only taking the piss. I know you're taking the piss. Yeah, I know that. We have this banter. We have this bants in the UK for taking the piss out of our friends. All good humour. Have a good day, Steve. All these messages are getting retracted. What's going on? Enjoy your coffee, Alex. It takes a village to raise a child. I know I don't have trouble getting it up, and don't be so rude. If I tip the girl, you can bring in lots of ladies anyway. You don't have to tip the girls. They just show their ID. I'm not too sure. I know, in the UK, I would have got abuse. Yeah, I probably wouldn't have done it in the UK. You're right. Well, she seemed pretty receptive. I mean, she was nodding her head, you know, as if to say, "Yeah, you're right." But yeah, why not do something about it then? Good places for nightlife in Manila. So there's P Burger Street, Poblacion, basically. Head to Poblacion, go to Cafe Cubana on Burger Street. That's the area you want to go to. If you're into sports, there's a couple of good sports bars there that are open all night. But yeah, Poblacion is the area to go to. I have been to Cambodia. I've been to Cambodia a few times. I want to go back. When is my birthday? But my birthday is April. You've missed it. I was 64. Hello, LJ. My first girlfriend was called Laura Jane. Oh, has she gone? I think we've got rid of her. I think Johnny got rid of my first girlfriend. Yeah, I'm talking about the sitcom, Love Thy Neighbour. Want action this week? Probably not with you. Oh no, LJ is still there. But it's not just okay. So Cafe Cubana is a good bar. It's not a dodgy bar. Cafe Cubana is a nice bar where the waitresses wear lovely uniforms, and they have live music in there, and it's a good place to people watch. It's a good spot. It gets very, very busy very early. I mean, I was there one night about 7 o'clock. Happy hour is, I think, 4 till 7, and you couldn't get a seat out the front. So I went to the place opposite. I always forget the name. Somebody always tells me the name of this place. Virtually opposite, diagonally opposite. Aries. Okay, so I haven't been to Cambodia since 2008-9. I need to go back. I've been to Siem Reap, and I've been to Sihanoukville, which has probably changed a lot, and I've been to Phnom Penh, which were all brilliant. I'm due a return to Cambodia to meet Buddy. Well, while in Manila, do you hang out often? Well, perhaps you put your comment before I put my comment about Burgos. Hello, Canadian Samurai. You're David, you're in Lapu-Lapu. Whereabouts in Lapu-Lapu are you? Love Thy Neighbour, yeah, exactly. '72 or '76, gosh. Thames Television. I just saw an excerpt. It was just, oh my god, it was just so racist. It was bloody hell. I couldn't believe how racist it was. Lambuk, I have. Have I gone? What do you mean, have I gone? That was the beach myself and Regina went to. Smart ass. Alcoves in Cebu. So what is your? I've never heard of it. Never heard of it. I need to drink some coffee. What time is it? We've been going an hour. If you've not liked, can you like? If you dislike, put a dis. Oh, can we not do a dislike? If you don't like it, switch off. Please like and subscribe if you're still here. I'm going to drink some of my coffee. Don't want to be left with any a moustache. So where are we? You're in Maribago. Oh, okay. No, it wasn't White Beach. That was Lambuk. Yeah, I miss Regina too. Subbed. I thought we're saying the Filipinos would have been more. Actually, that's a good point because no. Well, it may be a world thing now where everyone's just okay. No, it's not just Filipinos. The awareness of others. So when I was in the gym in Agonda in India, just before I came back to Cebu 6 weeks ago, I was in Agonda in India, And I used to go to this gym every other day, where there's a lovely guy who runs the gym, and I've known him for probably about 8 years since I first went to Agonda. So he'd set up this really nice gym in the centre of Agonda, and I went in one morning and there was nobody there. It was probably about 10 o'clock in the morning and there was nobody there. He wasn't even there. I was the only one there, and I was exercising quietly on my own, and then this European couple came in. She walked straight over to me. There's a gym full of 40 different apparatus. She walked over to me and she said, excuse me, how long are you going to be on this equipment? I need to plan my routine. How long are you going to be? And I just said, I've just started on this equipment. I'm going to be 5-10 minutes. And then she went over and put the music on, blasting out this music, absolutely blasting out really loud, heavy techno music. I didn't wait 15 minutes. I just said, excuse me, you could have asked if I was happy if you are going to put the music on. She just didn't even think. She said, well, gyms have music. Music's in gyms. But I said, yes, but you could have asked me if I'm happy for you to put the music on. You just come in here, immediately want to use my equipment, and you put your music on, blasting it out. So, in answer to your question, I think the world has just gone very, very selfish now. It's the same thing happened at the gym in Mabolo Garden Flats. I was in the gym in Mabolo Garden Flats, not this time, like this time last year, and a Filipina walked in, and I think she was with a Korean guy, and she walked in and she just did the same thing. She just came in. It was silent, and she walked in and she put her music on, blasting it out. And I said, do you mind? And the Korean guy, he appreciated what I was saying, and he got her to turn it down. But I think it's just people now. I think there's just no respect. When, if you're on a train or on a bus, people will, on their phone, they will play something on TikTok or YouTube or whatever really, really loudly. They'll just play it right next to you really, really loudly. And you're thinking, I don't want to hear that, but they want to hear that. So they've got no respect for other people's surroundings. I think it's just the world now. I think it's just wherever you go, people just don't have respect for other people. Would that happen in Western countries? I think it would. I think it would happen in UK, America. The Japanese are considerate. Yeah, it wouldn't happen in Japan. Definitely wouldn't happen in Japan. So yeah, I've just seen Tim's message about the back passage. You know my story about this lady in Cebu this time last year, when I met a 20-year-old and who looked like butter wouldn't melt. She was 20. She looked like a teenager. Well, she was a teenager. She'd just come out of being a teenager, but she looked like a chubby teenager. And whilst we were going for it, she said, do you want to put it in the back door? And I said, have you done this before? And she went, oh no. Well, the ease with which my fella went into the back door, I think she was lying. Anyway, we as Barney said, we went from black to pink. I was varying between black and pink for the next half an hour. Anyway, that got a bit too much information. Buddy Show was chatting with an Umber who liked the back door. That's the only one. She's the only one. It's not that they are taught love thy neighbour. Who over here scolds children who deserve it because they love them? They make a ton of noise for neighbours as well. What? I say hi to you. This is my third message. Hello, Ed Texas Vlogs. How are we? I don't know why I've missed you. Hi, how are you? Sorry I missed you. Where am I sitting? I'm sitting outside. I'm sitting where I always sit. I'll show you. Turn around. Pressing it too gingerly. I love this building. If I could afford to live anywhere, I would live in this building. The Kalex residence. Kalex Centre. I would live there. So this is IT Park. This is where I always sit. And me again. Sorry, the other view was probably better, but you're back to me. Okay, so blank channel. Do you speak Japanese? Oh, good question. Yeah, so, yeah, where are you? I was in Japan for 2 months last year. I love Japan. But what I don't love about Japan, which is not their fault, it's the communication. It's communication. Yes, I love Japan. I love the culture, but it's just communication. I do feel disconnected when I'm in Japan. The highest levels of civility is probably in Japan, in Tokyo. I mean, I was staying in this lovely neighborhood, only half an hour from the center. From all the built-up areas of Tokyo. I was staying half an hour away, and it was a lovely little village. And I'd walk into the village to go shopping, and there were about 20-30 people around, and it was all silent. There was just no noise. I mean, you could hear a pin drop. You would literally walking along, and everyone was. It's quite robotic and sad in a way, but it felt quite. It's very civilized. Is what I'm trying to say. Japan is very civilized. Hello from Medellin, Colombia. I dated a girl from. Did I date? Yeah, I dated her briefly. In Ealing, I dated a girl from Medellin. She was from Colombia, and she was living in Ealing, and I dated her briefly. It's always a shock when they request it before you even suggested it. But if you suggest it and they're not keen, they might get put off, mightn't they? If you say, "Can I go up the back door?" Anyway, Vietnam is getting hotter now. Which area of Vietnam are you at the moment? I had a couple express curiosity. I will not disappoint. Exactly. To boldly go. A lot of okay. So Tobias, here we go. Tobias has woken up. Have you just turned on the live stream from 2 hours ago and decided to answer the comment about the laundry? How much of the condos where you want to live? The condos can range from probably 18. They can range from 18 to whatever. 18 is probably the cheapest. Actually, you could probably get Mavesa is probably a bit cheaper. Probably about 15. Probably about $300 a month. You can get a condo here. Sorry, I'm playing with the angle of my dangle. I remember that coffee shop. This one. I was walking along a narrow hill path and a beautiful girl approached. I didn't know whether to block her path. Oh, brilliant. Oh, you lived in Zabita Towns for 6 weeks. Was that during COVID? Is there a back entrance into your condo? Oh, no, it's out of sync. I can't do that. Somebody else asked me this. They didn't know whether I was in Cebu or I was uploading old material. When I met Jonathan from Travel Escapes almost 3 years ago. Like, it must have been November 2022. I met him in Panglao. Now his channel has probably got about 250,000 subscribers. At the time, he probably had about 20,000 subscribers, and I probably had about 800. Anyway, I was chatting to him for ages, and we were talking about that fact that he goes from place to place, and he will go from place to place, but then he will upload something from Manila from 3 months ago and put that in his timeline now. I can't do that. I'm very anal. I have to structure my content for where I am. I can't go back. I can't do that. I think at the time I was thinking I should set up another channel for other places. But then I knocked that on the head. So it's I don't know. It's gonna stay in my archives for a while. I can't go back. Did you see that? You've been here 20 years in Tokyo. Are you in Tokyo? No, you're in Fukuoka. But okay? So you do speak Japanese? Yeah. Good day, Travel and Treasure. How are we? Rambling Dan Smith. Okay, Tears for Fears is okay. Every night I've got this playlist. Every night for when I'm cooking in my condo, and all the same songs keep coming up every night. I know I'm sad, aren't I? My favourite song at the moment is "Love Song" by Simple Minds, and that is the first song I'm playing every night now. Play "Love Song" by Simple Minds. Brilliant song. So Tears for Fears are always on my playlist. I'm plugging my power bank in. 49% already. That's terrible. So Tears for Fears. I love Tears for Fears. So go away, cat. Don't want a scrawny old cat on me. Da Nang, yeah, I've been to the Da Nang. When are you going to buy a tok? Hello, Andrew. How are we? When are you going to buy a tok and come live here? I know your mate's going back there. I don't think I'd like to live there. I'm probably going back. Next month, my mate Honest John is going there to see his girlfriend. So I will probably go there for a couple of days. So I'll probably be there in Duma in June. Mid to late June. I will see you there. Duma Regretti. Japan is very collectivist, but Ollie, they barely even talk. Yeah. Your neighbours don't even know each other much. Yeah, I know, it's weird, isn't it? It's weird. They're very standoffish. They're worse than us Brits. Do you ever run into girls you've already met? Luckily, no. No, I don't actually. I don't. Oh, okay. After COVID, between Chiang Mai and Jomtien. Avoid boomer Americans, then it's not drop. Yeah, but how can you avoid them? There's 20 a dozen there, isn't there? There's so many of them. You need a back entrance channel. Yeah. Um, do I? You're asking about Simon from Speaking of Asia. She's educated. Doesn't seem. Does she have a job? Doesn't mind if he lives in the fields or Thailand. But does that, I know he said that. But does that mean that when he goes to Thailand, she's gonna, or if he goes to Thailand, she's gonna go with him? I don't know. I don't know whether they've got a great setup or not. I'm not. I can't really answer that. Recently, you were in BGC for Holy Week. The outdoor malls are nice, but not with the heat and humidity. I think I prefer Makati. Yeah, I do love Greenbelt. I love Greenbelt, and when it's finished in 2027, it'll be wonderful if I'm still alive. BGC, the walkway on the BGC High Street is lovely. It's a lovely high street. You look like the lead guy in the Ram Ranch song. I don't think I even know what the Ram Ranch song is. Is that complimentary or not? So let's talk about taking advice from vloggers. Around the back entrance. Let's talk about taking a. We were talking about what were we talking about just then? Okay, she's a teacher. Okay, with a daughter, obviously. She doesn't want to go to Thailand, but would accept him. But what does that mean? Does that mean she's going to go with him, or would accept him going over there? I don't know what that means. She's a teacher with a daughter. Why do they all have kids? Why do all these vloggers find someone who's got a kid already? The majority, I can't think of anyone. Think of one. That was old dog. She didn't have a kid, did she? But I think most of them. Okay, thank you, Tobias, for catching up. Yeah. So the laundry. Yeah, I thought so. The laundry comment was from an hour and a half ago. I'm not too sure. I'm great. I'm glad she's got a job. I'm happy for him that she's got a job. How's the English level? Okay, so that's a good question because I've met up with two girls recently. Didn't understand me at all. Both from Cebu. Didn't understand me at all. I mean, I don't know if it's much difference between them talking to an American or them talking to a British guy, but they just don't get my accent. Two, they just couldn't understand me at all. And like the last girl I met, she was literally saying, "Stop talking." Just shut up, just don't, because she just didn't understand anything I said. It was just, so we were just sitting there on my balcony, listening to music because she just didn't understand anything I said. Yeah, so in answer to your question, it's strange how a lot of the girls here do speak English, but it's the level of English is different between a lot of them. I mean, some of them speak perfect English, but a lot of them don't. And that's nothing wrong with that because I'm in their country, but I'm just saying the level of English is different amongst different Filipinas. I've got a conservative Christian Nigerian male colleague who's quite disparaging of because of this. He doesn't think they're true Catholics. Where are there true Catholics in the world anymore? I don't think Catholicism has existed in its proper sense forever. But they don't understand, and they told me the time in perfect English. I know it's you're right. It's certain things you say they just don't get. They just don't understand certain expressions, words I say. They just don't understand. A lot of vloggers have girlfriends with kids. Correct. Single mums know they will have a hard life if they don't catch a vlogger. Once they catch a vlogger, well, they know with me, Tim, don't they? That if they catch me, they're not going to have. They're going to carry on wearing their threads. They're still not going to have nice clothes and travel. Tim, do you want a boyfriend? But why do they not choose a girl that doesn't have kids? Oh, okay. So Rike chose one without a kid, but not. Yeah. Why do they choose ones with kids? No, she wouldn't have. I know she wouldn't have. She was a weird one. The volleyball girl. She was a weird one. She was. I told her I had a channel. I stupidly told her I had a channel. She asked me what I did. I never come. I don't come clean before I meet them. And then when we were sitting there, she said, "What do you do?" I actually said, "I have a YouTube channel." So she, in front of me, while she was looking at her phone, she got my channel up. So she started going through it, which probably didn't go down very well. I don't. She would never. She wouldn't. It would never have happened. She would never. She would never have come back. I just know for sure. I know. There's no harm in trying, but yeah, I don't like rejection. When Brits sing, it's hard to notice an accent, so you could just sing your conversation to them. Actually, we were singing the Carpenters and things like that. So she could sing. You're right. She could sing in English. She could sing English songs, but she couldn't talk English very well, which is weird, isn't it? Tim's anal. Actually, Tim, are you still on duty? Are you still on duty in the hospital? Are you still in the restroom? Restroom? What's the room you sit at in between doing your operations? That was definitely a girl. I mean, she was a big girl. She was a big girl with big bazookas. 20 with huge bazookas that were like this. She was definitely a girl. Accents can be a problem as well. English taught in school here. The younger ones remember more than older ones. Okay. The younger ones remember more than older ones, but these were younger ones I'm talking about. They're only 20. I know. You're right. You're right, Johnny Lawrence. You're always right. Yeah, I know. I probably should have done, but I didn't. I didn't because I didn't think it was going to happen. I didn't know. Yeah. Anyway, got to shoot. Well, yeah. I went home and shot my shot, but I was on my own. So let's talk about. Either way, you never see them again. Yeah, but she's probably the one that I will see again. You say you don't meet any. Do you meet up with girls that you've met in the past? She'll probably be one I do meet on a night out. Who's rejected me? So I've been watching a lot of vloggers recently, live streaming, and you need to be careful when listening to vloggers talk about certain things. This is what I want. This is the whole point of my vlog today. This is the whole point of my live stream today, to talk about things I've seen other vloggers talk about on their live streams, who are giving wrong information, I feel. To those of you who have not been to the Philippines yet, make yourself known. Or have you all been to the Philippines? Have some of you not been to the Philippines already? So I was watching a live stream the other day of somebody talk about where to meet girls, and they were saying that what you should do is you should go online and you should go to the place where the girl lives and go and meet her there. Now, I was thinking about this and I was thinking, so what happens if the girl you're chatting to lives in Osamis City in Mindanao, and you rock up in Osamis City in Mindanao, having never been to the Philippines before? You've been to Manila, you've flown to Manila, you've got a connecting flight from Manila to Osamis. It's your first time in the Philippines, and you end up in a Osamis City in the Mindanao to meet a girl for the first time. If you've been to Osamis City is not a great city. It's got a great hotel there called the Royal Garden, which is a lovely hotel, but then the city itself closes at 7 p.m. at night. So I was staying in this lovely hotel, but the area was dead, it was absolutely dead. And then the following morning, I left Osamis and I was going to Iligan. Now, on my way from Osamis to Iligan, I got a message from one of the girls I've been chatting to who said to me, "Are you still in Osamis?" And I said, "No, I've just left this morning." And she said, "Well, a foreigner has just been murdered in Osamis." So my point is, if you've just come to Osamis to meet a girl and you find out a foreigner's been murdered, it's not going to be very cool. So I think you should be a little bit wary of what some vloggers are telling you about going to meet girls. Yeah, go and meet a girl if she lives in Manila or lives in Cebu or lives in a big town, but don't go to a place where you're putting your life at risk or whatever. So a lot of vloggers, I feel, are giving out wrong information. Not me. I wouldn't be doing that. I always give out perfectly honest, good information. Also, another thing he said on his live stream was, somebody said, "When shall I start chatting to Filipinas?" And he advised somebody coming to the Philippines in August to start chatting to girls online now. Now what is it? May. It's May time. So May, June, July, August. Start chatting to girls online, which I also think is naff information. I followed Rike and Gio both said to me, both didn't say to me, both said on their vlogs years ago before I first came to the Philippines, only start talking with girls a couple of weeks before you come, because anything could happen in those 4 months. You could spend 4 months chatting to one girl, start getting into an LDR with one girl. It's all completely wrong, I feel. I feel you should only start chatting to somebody, as they advise, just a couple of weeks before you get here. Yeah. So I think you should, limit yourself to only starting chatting to girls just before you come here. Where was I after all that? Where was I? Either way, why not use Google Translate? Google Translate. I did that. I actually did that in. I did that in Tokyo. I did that in Japan. It's not a great day, is it? Where you're just sitting. Sure, you're having conversations, but it's not a great day, is it? When you go out with. Okay, so this girl last week with the big bazookas, they weren't on show actually. She had them well hidden, but I'd seen them in her profile photograph, so I knew she had a great pair. I was able to look her in the eyes. Philippines can be quite religious and totally faithful. I know, I know, I know. I know, and I did a couple of videos recently about trust and about not trusting Filipinas, and you know, I've got a lot of stick from that. Not all. Well, I do actually say in the longer version, yeah, not all Filipinos are the same. I think Thai girls are a bit sexier. I think so too. I'm not. I've never actually been drawn to Filipinas' shape. Do I leave it there or do I continue? The shape is getting a bit out of hand, a bit more nowadays. I feel him trying to be politically correct. You're coming back for 3-4 months. When are you? Where are you? I think, have you told me already? Where are you coming back to? I wouldn't even bother with online dating anymore. I wouldn't even bother with online dating. Either find them on Facebook. Well, isn't Facebook sort of online? Or when out and about. Okay. Harley's spot on, but I still like to vet them online. I think if you meet them out and about, you don't really know. Sure, you can see, you know, horrible tattoos and bad teeth and stuff, but you can't get into their history. A few months before is okay, but that is if you want something serious. We'll also have backups. Not great, but better than saying my backup is the other. Your backup is the back alley. No, it's easy to get a girlfriend. It's easy to get a girlfriend. It's easier to find a girlfriend here. But don't look for a girlfriend online. Look for a girlfriend through friends or through recommendations. If you're coming here to settle, if you're coming here looking for a wife to be your partner, then you don't go on dating apps anyway. You don't find your girlfriend or wife to be on dating apps. You find your wife or girl to be through friends, through recommendations. But don't use your friends for recommendations and then be a player and piss off your friends by dumping her. Only go down that route. Sorry, Tim. Route. If you're looking for a permanent Filipina. If you're looking for a permanent Filipina, get recommendations from friends. That's the only way to go. But I'm not looking for a long stayer because my days are numbered. The shape. You mean fat? I'm trying to be diplomatic. I'm not a horrible person. I'm very kind and considerate about people's feelings. Yeah, there's too many fatties. Okay, if you could call a nationality, which one do you feel you have a better match? That's a good question. Physically, Indian ladies do it for me. I love Indian girls. I love Indian girls. But mentally, I don't really like their attitude. They're a bit up themselves. These Indian girls are a bit. I think they're beautiful women, and I would love a beautiful Indian girlfriend, partner. But I think they're a bit up themselves. Thank you, Douche Dale. Kevin, how did you feel just before landing for the first time? Okay, so good question. So when I was talking about dating earlier, when I was talking about setting up dating earlier. Well, I was actually before I came to the Philippines, I was in Thailand, and I'd been in Thailand for 3 months, from December 2019 till March 2020. I was in Thailand for 3 months, and then I was heading to the Philippines in March. So I didn't do what Gio and Rika advised. I actually started looking at dating websites in December when I was coming to the Philippines, because I didn't have a very good time dating that month in Thailand. The previous winter, I'd been in Thailand for 3 or 4 months, and I had great experiences. And when I came back the following year, or later that year, I wasn't having a good time dating Thai girls. So I actually started looking at Filipinas ahead of time in December, and then started looking forward to coming to the Philippines. So I was excited. I'd never been to the Philippines before, so I was excited. I'd been to most Asian countries, but it was the first time I'd been to the Philippines. So I was excited, and I was excited in starting to date here. And then, of course, COVID happens. COVID happened within 2 weeks of me being in the Philippines. So that excitement, it sort of all went a bit blurry. It all went a bit Pete Tong because of COVID. So I was very excited, but it didn't turn out as expected because of COVID. But all will be fine for you. You said on Living Abroad channel that they don't age well. Ever since you said that, I can't unsee it. Did you not notice that before I said that? I've always seen 35 as the cut-off point here. A lot of people say to me, why are you not dating older? Why are you not looking to date an older Filipina? Yes, I would love to date an older Filipina, but physically they don't age well. That is why I don't look. Mentally, I would love to date a 30-year-old. That is my range. That would be my range. 30 to 35 would be the range I would be looking. But they don't, unfortunately, they don't age well. I'm sure you noticed it before I said that. What's currently your favourite dating app? I'm down to 4. I've been kicked off OkCupid, so I'm on Bumble, Tinder. What are the other two? Bumble, Tinder, Pina Love, Bumble, Tinder, and Badoo. Badoo, you get a lot of mingers. Excuse me. Filipinos are getting too frumpy. They are. You just have to walk around and you see it's rumpy and pumpy in the back alley. Yeah, it's. Thank you. I'm glad I've given you some good advice. So Johnny Lawrence advises me to rent in Bohol or banter for a while and try and date there. It's not all about dating. My next video is all about don't come here not just for the girls. I would actually like. Yeah, you're right. I like the aspect, the Bohol aspect of beach, bars, sunset. I love that aspect. West Coast. I love that aspect. So it might be, and it's a lot more built up now. Apparently, I was watching that Canadian guy who's really annoying. I was watching him in Bohol a few weeks ago. It's got a lot of new restaurants and bars there since I was last there 3 years ago. So yeah, I'm due to go back. What's your favourite? Bosoms. Well, bosoms. That's not really. No. I prefer large jugs or big rack. Norks. No. I'm not. No. Norks or bosoms. No. It's mainly rack or jugs. Or I always call it personalities. She's got a good set of personalities. Yeah, but yeah. You still might. Okay, so your advice, Harley, was to stay off the dating apps. But you're saying, oh, I do monitor them. I do look at them occasionally when I'm on the toilet. Indonesian girls for me. Yeah, I'm looking at. I need to have another medical this year in September. So I'm looking to do. I'm looking to go somewhere else, like I did last year. Went to Kuala Lumpur. I'm looking to go somewhere else and having a medical done. So maybe Jakarta, maybe. Tim, who's in the medical profession? Where would you advise me to go for a medical? I don't really want to go to Bangkok. Is there anywhere else? Malaysia has great, yeah. The age gap dating scene in India is non-existent. It's just so frustrating. It's really frustrating. I mean, I think I told this story last time where I chatted to a beautiful 25-year-old Indian girl. I mean, I'm sure she started wanting to chat to me because I went over to this bookcase to look at some books, and she came over to this bookcase to start looking at the books too. I mean, she'd been staying there 2 days. I'm sure she did that deliberately to come and chat to me, but then got her Insta. So we chatted for about 20 minutes, then got her Insta profile, sent her a message, nothing. So yeah, it's horrible. I do like Malaysia. I do like Malaysia for, if I wasn't in Philippines, I would probably be in Kuala Lumpur because I do love that Indian aspect. They're hard to get in India, but not in England. Okay, so when I was younger, there's a big Indian community in West Ealing, where I was living in London. West Ealing, as Tim will know, there's a big Indian community in Southall. So I was a lot younger then, so it's a lot easier dating Indian girls back in the day. It is now, as I'm an older man. How are Indonesian girls for age gap, Harley? Isn't it okay? So, and here's Johnny's question: isn't it tough to? Apparently not. Apparently, from what I've heard online, Jakarta is quite a good place for dating foreigners because a lot of the girls are living in the big city, away from their families, and they want a bit of hanky-panky up the back alley, so to speak. Have you ever thought of going to a convent on the day they kick out the prospective nun? That's a good point. I've not thought of that. Perhaps I should. Indian girls are pretty hard to get in India, but not younger back in the day. They ride on horses and sleep in tepees. Okay. So Harley, you talk about Indonesian girls quite a lot as being your favourites. Where were you in Jakarta? Is that where you were, or have you been all over in Bali and all over? Where did you go, basically? Johnny, I think we're planning your next holiday. I know that you're fed up with coming to the Philippines, and I think you should. I know you're thinking of going to Vietnam, but I think you maybe should try telling me to go everywhere else in the world. But why don't you do it for yourself, young man? Unlike most Asians, English was the big decider for me. Also, their amiable, friendly nature. I think they do. Oh my gosh. Harley says, so you didn't go to Jakarta, you went to, Oh, you did go to Jakarta, sorry. I think Old Dog's girl is around early 30s now, I think. You only notice 18 to 25-year-olds now because I told you 35-year-olds are past it. Yeah, but you are a younger man, Johnny Lawrence. You're always alone. I like to call it spanking the monkey. They won't know that. The girl that I was talking to, lovely, the other day, and who kept asking me what I was doing. I kept wanting to say I'm spanking the monkey. Yeah, exactly. Sorry, you're right. Phil's is. It is. It is. If you've not liked, could you please like? If you've not subscribed, I'm sure that have all of you subscribed. Philippines is the best for not paying. Okay, so now I'm finding Cebu to be a lot more transactional than it was even a year ago. I'm finding it's a lot harder. Fittest bird I've shagged. Okay. So I was talking about the girl last week who couldn't speak English, who we were sitting on my balcony playing the Carpenters. Now, when we got into the bedroom, I noticed that she had a very hairy muff. So that reminded me of the fittest bird I've shagged in England, in London. Now I was what, 33. I was 33 at the time. I was living in London, living in Ealing, and one day I was going up to London and I was on my push bike riding from my home in Hanwell to where was I going? Ealing. I think I was going to Ealing Common Station. I don't know why I was going to Ealing Common Station. But I was going to Ealing Common Station and I was riding my bike. Was it Ealing Common? Anyway, I was riding my bike towards the underground station. And on the way to the underground station, I noticed this beauty in a skin-tight dress walking towards the underground station. So I was virtually going really slowly on my bicycle, watching this girl waddle towards the underground station. So I parked up my bike, locked up my bike, went into the underground station, and I think I must have already got a ticket. So because I didn't queue up, and she was getting a ticket either by the ticket machine. Anyway, I had already got my ticket. I don't know why. I already had a ticket, or I think I might have had a pass. So I went up to the platform. I got up to the platform, and this girl came up, and she was absolutely stunning. So I positioned myself next to her for when the train arrived, and we got on the train. And when we got on the train together, and the only two seats left in this carriage were opposite each other in the middle row. So we sat down opposite each other in the middle row. Reconnecting. Sorry, it just went funny for a minute. I'm still going, am I? It was just reconnecting. I hope you can still hear me. So I sat down opposite this beautiful girl in this carriage. She was stunning looking. I had my newspaper, and I was looking at my newspaper and then looking over the top of this beautiful girl. And she was studying the map of the underground, and she said to me, she actually caught my eye, and she said, "Where do I get off? I want to go to Oxford Street." So I said, "Oh, Tottenham Court Road. I'm going to Oxford Street as well. I will show you." So we got off together at Oxford Street, and she was stunning. She was Turkish. She was 19. She was working as an au pair in Ealing. I was in a relationship at the time, but I got her number. and we arranged to meet up a couple of nights later in Ealing. And same thing again. I went to meet her at this pub in Ealing, and I saw her walking down the road. She was a beautiful, beautiful girl. And when we went to the pub, we met at the pub, and the pub courtyard was really busy. And I think a couple of friends, a couple of friends were waiting at the pub. There was only one seat left. I sat down. This girl came and sat on my lap. It was just, I was 33, she was 19, absolutely stunning. Anyway, long story short, in the bedroom, she had a really hairy muff. And my friend nicknamed her the Furry Turk. The Furry Turk, because of her hairy muff. Anyway, she was stunning. Where am I? She was beautiful, probably 9 out of 10. Let me carry on. Thank you, Ken Austin. That's very kind of you. You didn't have to do that. It's very polite of you. Thank you. Thanks, very kind of you. Thank you, Ken. Why don't you want to go to Thailand for your medical? Because I've been to Thailand so many times. I want to go somewhere different for a medical. I know Thailand's going to be very good medicals, but I want to go somewhere different. I want to go to Indonesia, or I want to go to Cambodia, but I don't know if either of them are going to be good for a medical or not. Okay, which music? Okay, it's subjective. Tears for Fears and Simple Minds were both brilliant in their day. I've got 5 albums from Tears for Fears. I've got 5 albums from Simple Minds. They're early albums. They're all brilliant. When they became a bit too stadium band, I wasn't really into Simple Minds, but early on, when they were playing smaller clubs and venues, their music was brilliant. Where have you been, Steve? Why are you back? I thought I'd seen the back of you for the day. I thought you'd gone and done something a bit more interesting than watching my boring live stream. Hang on. You got your where did you get your senior discount? Did you get your senior discount with your groceries, or just senior discount with your food in a restaurant? Oh, I don't know. Okay, so you shouldn't be asking me that, Johnny Lawrence. The dating for me, I don't know. When I went in Indonesia, I went with my Sri Lankan girlfriend. Just before I met the girl from Turkey. So I don't know about dating in Indonesia, and that was 30 years ago. And Malaysia, when I went to Malaysia for 6 weeks, dating was non-existent. For me, it was terrible. But maybe it's better if you're long term. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know about. As far as I'm aware, age gap dating is only really decent here. Maybe in Thailand, but it's a bit more transactional. Classic hotel. 2 girls. Go to Jakarta. Go to classic hotel. Okay. I might need to write that down. Just Bali, but 50% of girls that they were from. Oh, okay. Okay. Bandung. I'm sure I went to Bandung. Singapore. Quality medical. Okay, Singapore. Okay. Is that going to be quite expensive though? I was watching a vlog the other day of some American girl went for, where did she go? She went somewhere for a medical exam all day, and it cost her like $800. The one in Kuala Lumpur cost me $300, which was brilliant with body scans as well. I think it's going to be a bit more in Singapore. Thank you for your advice, Tim. Thank you for that. But I think it's going to be a little bit out of my budget, Singapore. Plus hotels. Wrestling the Cyclops. Okay. Bodies I've never seen here. Actually, I did what date? I dated. Actually, I did date one in not date. I got with one Indonesian girl in Macau. I've probably told that story before. She was from Indonesia. I don't know what she was doing in Macau, but anyway. Uh, Malaysia seems similar to Indonesia. I don't know whether it is. Yeah, I'm showing my age now. That was a brilliant film. Spanking the Monkey was actually a film in the 90s. Okay, you never heard Good Sleep. Okay, from Malaysia, like you have in. Okay, so Indonesia is a bit naughtier. Bashing the bishop. I was going to say that actually. I was gonna say that. Bashing the bishop, spanking the monkey, or bashing the bishop. Onanism. I had this one Japanese girl who had the weird. Oh God. Who had the weirdest. Went from ass crack to. Oh my God. Okay, so the girl last week, I said to her, "Oh God, you're really hairy," and she said, "I don't shave." Well, bloody obvious. The song that sprang to mind was "A Forest" by The Cure. I don't know if you've heard the song "A Forest," but I didn't want to go down there with my mouth. Anyway, you're not too sure what you do. Okay, so Jakarta it's actually a good city. It's very busy, but it's if you like cities, well, it's a good city to explore, isn't it? Just for a few days. If I'm just going for a medical or a week or so, it's a good place just to explore. Songs from the Big Chair. That was my one absolute favourite. I got it on cassette, and I got it on cassette with a special cassette as well. So it was a brilliant. It's one of my favourite albums. It's if you ask me what of my 10 favourite albums are, Songs from the Big Chair is yeah, and it comes with a great. At the time, it came from a great free album as well, which is brilliant. You might try Taiwan. I was there, yeah, 2009. I love Taiwan. Does Johnny ride? I can't remember. Do you do these live streams? Well, every fortnight or so, or if I feel like I've got something to say. I felt like I had something to say today about watching dodgy live streams. I only have a few weeks. Okay. You get. I get in the restaurant. Don't bother in the supermarket. Only 5% are not. Okay. I didn't realise the supermarket gave senior discount. But you're legit anyway. You've got an SRV card, haven't you, or something? Yeah, best medical will be in Bangkok. Yeah, I know, but I don't really want to go back to Bangkok. I've been there too many times. I'm sure I can get a decent medical somewhere else as well. Have you? Somebody asked that the other day. Have you ever met any beautiful girls? That's my ideal. Meeting a modest, beautiful girl. Exactly. I am at Kevin Walsh from my school. I'm sure I've told you this before. There was a Kevin Walsh at my school, and I know you're not him. I am in IT Park in Cebu. I think I can't remember the film. That's what it was. I can't. It was 30 years ago. I can't remember the film. You did meet a couple. Did you meet an actual couple, or was it a couple of girls? There are a lot of on Tinder of couples asking for a threesome. Okay, you're gonna keep your 6K Duma. Travel. Okay, Negros. That is a great. How can you avoid? You can't avoid the ACR bullshit. You have to get it at some point, surely. You have to get your ACR card at some point. Where can you? I'm sure you do. You're okay. That doesn't okay. It doesn't. So you have the SRRV, but it doesn't guarantee a discount in the supermarket. Is that right? You got what last week? You got your ACR card. I need to get mine next time around. Next visit, I need to go and get mine. So we're on my magic number. We're on 69. Brilliant. Oh, it's just gone to 70. Will one of you clock off so we can go back to 69 watching? And if you haven't liked, can you please like? Been going 2 hours. Why? That's a good question, actually. Well, the one last week, the one I had a date with last week, didn't want any photograph. Well, when she found out I had a YouTube channel, I think she got a bit negative. Even when I took out my camera, even when I took out my phone, she was pouring a beer or something and sending it to her mates, a photograph of her mates on her phone, and I was going to take a photograph on my phone, and she said, "Oh no photographs." So so that's probably why. That was the last date I had. I liked. Thank you for liking. Have you subscribed as well? Is there any more questions? If there's not, it's 2 hours, I'm gonna probably call it a day pretty soon. Any more questions before we go? What are your plans for the day? Okay, that's fair enough. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for your donations. I'm going to call it a day now. Thanks for Johnny. Thank you for moderating as usual. What was for tea? I forgot to ask. What did you have for your tea? We call it your tea in the UK. You probably call it something else. Your supper. Pull out. I'm pulling out now. So, thanks for tuning in. I'm pulling out now. I will see you all next week. Thanks for tuning in. Take care, everyone. Cheerio.